Well, our first season as podcasters is done.
Yeah.
We've done every week, basically, apart from last week.
Pretty much, yeah.
Have you found it? Has it affected how you think about football?
I don't think so.
How you watch football?
No, I mean, it's nice to see you regularly on a Monday.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
It's nice to have something to do after work.
Yeah, definitely.
It's been an interesting season to pick. Not that we had looked at several different seasons and thought that's the one where we should do the podcast.
No.
We picked the next season.
This is the only way you can do it.
Yeah. It wasn't like a 5-year plan.
Yeah, it
was basically a 5-minute plan.
Yeah, it's been a surprising season.
Yeah.
A season of two halves, you could say.
Yes.
I don't think, we're going to go through our predictions for the season.
We are. You could say this any year, but I don't think it was an easy season to predict. Getting that in there early.
But I think an interesting season, an enjoyable season in the whole to do a podcast about.
Yeah, I think so.
That could have been worse. Would have been a much worse season to talk about, just because how we lost out so many more games.
Yeah, like that point halfway through this season where United became 10 times better.
Yeah.
That never came last season.
No, we just stayed really bad.
Yeah. It's nice that we had that arc, which is what you want in a season one.
Yeah, narrative. Certainly been narrative heavy.
Indeed.
We've got lots to talk about.
We have, yes. Well, hello and welcome back to Red Army Reaction for the final time this season.
Indeed.
It's, probably a slightly different episode today. We'll talk a little bit about the United game, but I don't think it'll take up half of the episode.
Yeah,
a review of the season, I suppose. Our predictions, see which ones came true, which is probably not many.
Yeah.
And a review of the season of the podcast, maybe?
Yeah, a little bit, yeah.
I don't think we did predictions for that.
No. I think we predicted it would...
I
think if we had predicted it, we would have been pretty spot on. I think we've not been taken by surprise by any of it.
No, I don't think so.
We start with Brighton.
Yeah. I was on holiday for the weekend down on the south coast, not in Brighton.
No,
different part of the south coast. I actually looked it up because I was like, I'll be down there. Maybe I could pop over. I was 3.5 hours drive away from Brighton. I had no idea the south coast was that long.
Well, it's much wider. It's much wider than the north of England is.
Yeah, but it was basically as far away again from it was from here. That threw me off. So I didn't pop over to Brighton for the game. We found the one pub in Lyme Regis that was showing the football, and I thought it'll be a bit of a shame. It's lovely sunny weather, everyone's on the beach. It'd be a shame to have to go and sit inside
to watch
pub,
the match.
an empty pub, but it was far from empty. Basically, every single person who liked football in the area was there.
Nice, because there's nowhere else to go.
No, yeah. So they've done well there, because obviously it was a bit away from the beach. All the pubs by the beach have the advantage there.
Yes.
So they had to compete with that.
Nice.
So they had, I think, 6 tellies, none of them showing United.
No.
But other than Newcastle versus Fulham, Brighton was right down there.
Yeah.
In terms of importance. So they had Arsenal on, West Ham on, and Spurs on, and plenty of fans of all of them.
Yeah.
But it was and so I couldn't watch a United game, but I have since, I've seen the highlights, and they showed the United goals as they went in, so it's sort of the best of both worlds.
Yeah, I did feel sort of deliberately contrarian watching the United game when it was the least important game. But there weren't really that many super important games. Everything would basically work itself out apart from Spurs West Ham. Yeah,
and there was a bit of Europe, but...
Yeah, but just jostling for... I think even most of the... Yeah, that Brighton was involved in that.
Yeah.
So that worked out. They were rubbish, Brighton. They didn't show up at all, really.
And it was quite a nice sort of game for United, sunny day on the south coast, and we just passed the ball around, looked like a good, solid team. 3-0 away win to sign off the season's pretty good, really.
Yeah.
Little fuss.
I can see why Brighton fans would be a bit frustrated, because if they'd shown up, they could have got something,
They could have got into the Europa League.
I mean, they'll probably be glad when they win the Conference League that they're in the Conference League. They probably would have won the Europa League as well.
Yeah, I mean, Palace, obviously they were not happy when they got booted out of the Europa League and into the Conference. they probably wouldn't have won the Europa League, especially
No.
not with Villa in it. So they probably are happier in the end.
Yeah. Who's the other English team in the Europa League?
Sunderland and Bournemouth are in the Europa League.
Yeah,
and Brighton are in the conference.
Brighton, they wouldn't have been favourites, but they would have fancied their chances to win the Europa.
But they should be favourites.
They should definitely win the Conference League.
Whatever English team is in there, you could argue there shouldn't be an English team in there.
Yes,
it's not really what it was made for. But whatever English team is in there should win it.
Yeah, I think we might see a change of policy from UEFA there because it's basically pointless.
If England win it, would that be 4 out of the first 5 seasons?
That would be Chelsea, Palace, West Ham, and Fenerbahce.
No,
Fenerbahce
Roma won it.
Roma. Fenerbahce won the Europa League, did they?
I don't know. I think are you thinking of the fact that Mourinho won the Conference League with Roma, and then he lost the Europa League final with Roma? But I don't think he got to any finals with Fenerbahce.
No, or someone else. I can't remember who won the other Conference League, but it was who won the Europa League that I'm thinking of.
Okay.
But
it would be 4 out of 5 English winners.
Yes. So I think they might. And as everyone says, Spain used to dominate the Europa League, and it was never seen as an issue then. But Spain didn't dominate because they earned 10 times as much money as everyone else.
They dominated because of Unai Emery, pretty much.
Basically, yeah.
And that's continued to happen.
But yeah, great, nice, enjoyable, relaxing watch for United.
Yeah.
Bruno got his 21st assist of the season.
He did pretty early on as well, so that sort of put that to bed quite quickly, which was nice.
Yeah. Was it an own goal?
I haven't. I was confused because I'd seen some talk of it potentially being an own goal.
Yeah.
And then I saw the goal, and I was like, obviously he just heads it.
Yeah.
He's not competing against the defender for the header, really. So I don't see how it could possibly be an own goal. I hadn't considered that it could have been coming out and gone in off the goalkeeper.
Yeah.
But I haven't seen any close analysis of it, so I don't know. But clearly,
I think I don't think it's them being generous. I think you would have to be very strict to rule it out, and you can't. I don't think you can tell from the tiny distance it travels whether it's going to travel down or out.
Yeah.
So I think it would take a real job's worth to be like that we're giving that as an own goal, so he doesn't get the assist.
Yeah, and no one could call the goal accreditation panel jobs. They are often quite strict with that. I remember a Rashford one where he headed it and it went off the inside of the post and was going along the goal line, and it hit the goalkeeper's back and went in. And you've no way of knowing there whether it would have hit off the inside of the other post. And gone in.
Could have easily gone in.
And they gave it as an own goal.
Yeah.
But then there was the Harry Kane one where he appealed and said he did actually get a touch, and then they gave it to him. Yeah. And also Rashford's goal in the Carabao Cup final against Newcastle was clearly an own goal. It was going wide, and then they gave it to him. So
yeah, they have got some nuance and generosity to them. But I think it's very much in the spirit of assists that you cross the ball and a bloke heads it. It's not like a controversial assist where it like Bruno like deflects or like bounces off his arse or something.
Yeah.
Like it is an assist for a goal.
Yeah.
So I think it's fine. And fair play to him. We've not had an individual United player sort of enter the annals of history for a long time. We've not had anyone touch the scoring charts for a while.
Not had a player get 20 goals for 13 years.
Yeah.
I didn't think we would get a player get 20 assists before we next got a player with 20 goals.
20 assists is seemingly much harder, even though... But it must be because...
You have to do less of the work.
Yeah, but goals have... You can have goals without assists, but you can't have assists without goals.
Yeah.
So...
you can. They're called chances created, and Bruno gets a lot of them as well.
But I don't think anyone thinks that we should have a chart. He should get 138 assists or whatever the season.
No.
But so it's good to see Fernandes enter into the history books.
Yeah, a record which United are accustomed to setting Premier League records, but we've not had one for a while. So that's nice.
It's good to see, and we just hope that he can enter into the history books as a title-winning captain as well.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
But for now, we'll settle for this.
Yeah.
Some recognition for him. That's something that United fans have known all along, and other fans have been... Some United fans have been in denial about, inexplicably.
Yeah.
But some opposition fans are willfully ignorant as to Bruno Fernandes' quality.
Yeah.
He's just really good at football.
Yeah.
And has been for 7 seasons now.
6.5, I think he's been United. So yeah,
you can't really fault him. I think certain things have done damage to his reputation, some of which aren't true. Specifically, the Gary Neville thing at Anfield, where he just made up that Bruno Fernandes was asking to come off when he was just complaining about something else, and then stuck with it.
Yeah, never backtracked.
Yeah, and this week gone, we've had Roy Keane, poking his head above the parapet just to wind people up again.
Yeah.
Being objectively wrong.
Yeah.
He misinterpreted
Fernandes, what he said, and misremembered it.
Yeah, into the exact opposite of what he said. Yeah. Got annoyed with it because it was the wrong way around, even though what he said was the right way around.
Yeah.
Then Fernandes, I don't know why Fernandes went on Diary of a CEO, but, it's a reasonably well-respected platform that he would be able to get on. I don't know what other... he could have gone on the overlap, I suppose, but that might not have gone down too well.
And he claims to be a United fan, Stephen Bartlett. So.
Yeah.
Although this is a sidebar, but he calls Ole Gunnar Solskjaer Ol and Sir Alex Ferguson Saf. Which is weird. I don't know why.
I've not heard any United fan call Sir Alex Ferguson Saf.
No.
Well, that is weird.
Yeah.
And, Fernandes rightly said, I don't like when people completely misrepresent what I've said deliberately.
Yeah, which
is fair enough.
No one would like that.
Yeah, and Roy Keane posted a quote that said,
if you give a donkey enough attention, he thinks he's a lion or something.
Yeah, which I don't think is true of donkeys or Bruno Fernandes.
Most donkeys, we don't know what lions are.
No, I've never seen a lion. Also, how would you know if a donkey thought it was a lion? Was he trying to roar? Eat a gazelle, it's just not practical. It doesn't make any sense. And I don't think Fernandes, because people listen to him, he thinks he's
really good.
But he's been the captain of United for 5 years. That is an important person in the world of football and is allowed to voice opinions. It's not like some, minnow player who no one's ever heard of.
It's not like when John Terry said, I can respect criticism from certain ex-pros, like Cara and Rio, who've been there and done it, but there's certain others who I can't respect, and Robbie Savage is one of them.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's fair enough if you think his opinion is irrelevant, but obviously Fernandes' opinion isn't irrelevant.
Especially not when the topic of conversation is Bruno Fernandes. He's allowed
something of an authority on that.
Yeah. So, I think we've noticed, some people online have noticed that the club's media strategy is integrating a lot more of the sort of 2008 to 2011 squad. We've seen a lot more of Rooney in club media. Berbatov's been knocking about. Evra's always never far away.
And obviously Carrick is a part
Carrick is part of that. And sort of, I think, deliberately distancing themselves from the class of 92 because they all hate United now. Like, they all do.
Yeah,
the only one we haven't heard from is Phil Neville. And that's because he's busy getting sacked from Portland Timbers.
Busy failing as a manager. Which Roy Keane and Gary Neville got out of the way a long time ago.
Yeah, Phil's still clinging on to the dream. But, they all just like to moan about United. And that's fair enough if that's what gets them media attention.
Them money, yeah. And Gary Neville's recently bought a channel, 2 channels from a guy who loves to complain about United.
Built his whole career on complaining about United. At least they've got some authority.
Yeah.
So I'm glad to see the club moving on. We've got enough legends that
they don't hate the club.
They don't hate the club.
And
you do the photo shoots.
The class of 92 era. So, that's a bit generous to those players. The late 90s is one era of United's success. There's plenty of them to choose from.
Yeah.
So we don't, because the pundits from that time are most vocal, you don't want that to dominate in terms of United's history and be given any more precedence than any other era of success.
No, definitely not.
We've said on this podcast before that we'd like more legends of the club who have a voice in the media to seem like they actually want the club to do well. And it's nice to see that Wayne Rooney is clearly, he's what you want, like Ian Wright is for Arsenal. He clearly loves the club and he'll be there celebrating when we win the league.
Yeah.
I don't think Gary Neville will be.
Gary Neville was celebrating when Arsenal won the league, which was very odd to see.
That was not real. That was an old clip.
Was it?
Yeah, it was from the quiz they did at Christmas.
Okay, that's fine. I didn't really pay it much attention.
Yeah, some people got really annoyed that Gary Neville and Roy Keane was celebrating Arsenal winning the league.
Yeah. I mean, I could see Keane doing it. I was confused as Neville doing it, but I'd sort of written it off as another thing Gary
you
Neville's
weren't
done
that
that annoyed me.
surprised.
And then after getting his assist, just to bring us back to the Brighton game, after getting his assist, Fernandes remembered how to shoot, so scored a great goal. The sort of goal that he used to score loads of, where he just bursts into the box and finishes low and hard, but he hasn't really bothered with this season because he's been busy getting assists.
Time.
Nice to see him remember how to do that.
Yeah.
Prove that he's still really good at that as well.
Yeah. And the third goal was probably the other goal that we've not talked about was probably the best one. The
it
goal.
was, yes.
It was very good.
Yeah, I saw some analysis online saying that is the closest to Carrick's ideal goal,
right?
Where you've got midfielders in the box, you've got wide players drifting inside, centre forward making lots of small movements, intricate play. Because we see lots of intricate play on the touchline and on the halfway line where we're knocking it around each other and the opposition aren't able to get near us. And I think Carrick loves that. We've seen drills this week or footage has come out of them doing pass and move drills and these building those networks and that skill. And I think Carrick's idea is to just move that as high up the pitch as you can to the point where you can do it in the opposition box.
Yeah.
And if you can, then you can score goals like this. And I hope we can see more of them next season and get closer to Carrick's version of United and what his end goal for this team is.
Yeah. I mean, it helped that the Brighton players were basically like traffic cones, but it was like a training exercise, that goal, and that's we had nothing to play for, so it was nice that we could practice some things in the last game of the season.
Yeah, but also I think you earn that. Like if you're playing quick enough, it does make the opposition look slow and on their heels. Whereas if you take 3 seconds to make a pass, then the opposition is able to close you down and able to block off lanes.
Yeah.
That's the benefit of being able to pass in quick succession. It does make the opposition look a bit flat-footed.
Yeah.
And there is, that's one of the reasons why you do it.
Yeah. There's been plenty of games over the years where we've lost the game and the commentators or whoever have praised the opposition team, saying every player did their job out there.
Yeah.
But we let them do their job.
Yeah, yeah.
And they didn't. I don't know if they actually had to be that good.
Yeah.
They were good, obviously, but I think we could have stopped them from being good quite easily. We just didn't turn up. Everton at home this season, like Everton, everyone did their job. They defended resiliently, but they didn't really have to.
Yeah, yeah. There's definitely, what good teams do is make the opposition look bad.
Yeah.
And so it was given to City as an insult or a critique of City that teams would often roll over and they wouldn't pressurize the ball and they wouldn't like some certain teams like they're going to the Etihad, they know they're going to lose, they're not going to try that hard.
Yeah.
But that's earned by City, and also it's a result of how City play. Certainly how City played in that era where they would regularly just put 6 goals past people, because you earn that by being that good, and it's evidenced in getting those points totals. If you can't really be unlucky 15 games a season.
No.
You can be unlucky in two or 3 games a season.
Yeah, but you make your own luck.
You make your own luck by how good you are. If a team's sat deep, then you should be able to move them around. If a team's pressing really high, you should be able to play through them. You need to have all these tools in order to earn that 90 point season or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Any other points on the Brighton game before we move on to the season as a whole?
Well, we might want to discuss the last day slightly, as well as just United's game.
Tottenham did just enough.
They did.
Everton.
Yeah, I mean, West Ham, obviously, they did their job against the Leeds side that had probably had the least to play for out of everyone. They were very happy with what they'd achieved. But West Ham didn't get relegated on the last day, really.
No. Brentford was Brentford the one?
They lost 3-0 away at Brentford. I mean, they lost 3 out of their last 4 games.
Yeah, yeah.
And Spurs winning away at Villa meant that West Ham had to match that. Oh, they didn't. All they had to do was match that. They had to win away at Newcastle or win away at Brentford, and they didn't do it.
Yeah, yeah.
They didn't turn up when it mattered. I wanted Spurs to go down, but West Ham, no one can say they were unlucky. Well, I have heard people say they were unlucky to go down because they got 39 points.
Yeah.
But I don't think they were unlucky to go down. They've not turned up too many times.
Yeah, and they've been sort of drifting this way for a couple of seasons now. I think they're a team that if they'd stayed up this season, then they would have had another poor summer and been there or thereabouts next season. Spurs may well turn it around and progress rapidly as we have this season.
Yeah, and lots of people thought Spurs would this season.
Yeah, we'll get to that in our predictions. But I think West Ham had opportunities to. It wasn't like Spurs went on an amazing run. Spurs only won one of their last four or something. Yeah. So West Ham could have done it. They had good players, but I think they've had too many passengers this season. I think for all of West Ham fans love him, and he's probably underrated, but I think he might be so underrated to the point of being overrated now. I think Jared Bowen's he really let them down these last few months. He's just not.
Yeah, he's had a lot of poor games.
It's too many games where a bit of they say they've got too much quality to go down, but the quality has to be on the pitch. It has to be. Yeah. You have to turn up, and they've had too many bad signings and too many players who've been there for too long without turning up.
Yeah,
this season it's all come home at once.
Yeah, all the West Ham fans in the pub I was in left quite a while before the final whistle.
Yeah,
because it was so obvious that they were going to win their game, but Spurs were never going to lose that game against Everton.
No,
that's probably the worst team for West Ham. From West Ham's point of view, the worst team for Spurs to be playing is a David Moyes side away against a big club with nothing to play for. They were just never going to turn up.
Yeah, I'm surprised David Moyes turned up. Might as well just sat at home.
Yeah, and that's I'm glad that at least something exciting went down to the last day. But because Spurs scored quite early, that meant there was very little jeopardy, because Everton were just not going to score two goals.
It was never going to happen.
Even if it was 0-0 the whole time, I think it would have been unlikely for Everton to score a late goal or whatever. But there's always a chance when it's only one goal needed. But there was none of hearing the goal had gone in at the other ground and that changing anything really. No. There was no back and forth.
As it stands didn't update at any point. It was just as it stands, Spurs are still fine.
Yeah. So that was a shame. But it'll be interesting to see West Ham go down. Not as interesting as Spurs going down, but there'll still be a lot of talking points there.
Yeah, and means we might be more likely to sign Matheus Fernandes. So that's silver lining.
Yeah, the atmosphere in the pub was strange because the Spurs fans were sort of pleased but not going mad. West Ham fans all left. Arsenal fans were all getting shots and everything at the end of the game. And then there was us there who wanted United to win, who weren't on. So we were just sort of in the middle of it all.
Should we look at our predictions for the season, or should we do the Champions League final?
I think Champions League final first, and then predictions.
Yeah. We had one of our rare forays into watching the football in the pub together. We've done it 3 or 4 times this season. And we got the result we wanted.
Yes.
We tried not to be too obnoxious about it, but it was a bit of give and take. The Arsenal fans clearly didn't like that people were celebrating Paris, cheering on Paris.
Yeah.
And so everyone sort of ramped each other up towards the end, I think.
Yeah, but surely an Arsenal fan or a group of Arsenal fans going to watch the match in a pub in Manchester can't expect the rest of the pub to be on their side.
I think they probably just would have thought, why would a United fan go?
Yeah.
What United fan would just watch it at home? Why would a United fan? But maybe they weren't expecting as many
people who'd gone to watch the game and support PSG. Yeah. I don't like supporting PSG, but I did enjoy supporting PSG on Saturday.
Yeah. They're a very reliable team to support.
Yeah.
They've not missed a beat in the last couple of seasons.
Yeah. Yeah, it was fun. I'm glad. I didn't expect there to be any Arsenal fans in there, but I'm glad there was now.
Yeah, it was touch and go. When it went 1-0 after 5 minutes, I was like, I envisaged we might have to leave at half time.
Yeah. What do you make of the sort of argument of Arsenal's game plan was perfect? They got the lead and they would have seen out if it weren't for a penalty against a team who can easily score 5 goals against you, or Arsenal were cowardly and didn't have a shot on target after the goal and brought it on themselves.
It's tricky because, like you say, it nearly worked.
Yeah.
But it's a long time to play that way.
Yeah.
And
so maybe they scored too early.
Well, I don't know, because I don't know how we don't know how they would have played at 0-0 because we didn't really get that. But with those dribblers on the pitch, with 80 minutes of defending, there's a lot that can go wrong. You know, it only has to go wrong once, and it did only go wrong once. I mean, once it got to 1-1, it was a little bit more open.
Yeah.
I think, but Arsenal aren't really capable of playing another way. I think if Arsenal had come up and said, well, Bayern got loads of goals past these, so if we are bold and we come flying at them, we might put loads of goals past them, because that's not who they are as a team.
No, and they have been much worse at that than Bayern Munich and more importantly PSG.
Yeah. I think Arsenal have to, that's what's got them there. That's, they drew their last 3 away legs or something.
Yeah, they won the semi-final and the quarter-final 1-0 across 2 legs.
And Leverkusen they drew away as well, 1-1, didn't they? Or did they beat Leverkusen away and then draw it?
I can't remember. But no, they didn't win. They won 2-1 against Atletico Madrid and 1-0 against Sporting. So.
But, that's what they've done all season.
Yeah.
That it would be, if they'd come out and, had lost 4-3, lots of people would have said,
stick to what you're good at.
Arsenal have been defending really solidly all season, and then they've come out and been picked off by PSG.
Yeah.
In a one-off game, we said, when you win the league, or after a league season, you can sort of talk about style and the manner with which you win the league, because it's about, it's a whole body of work.
Yeah.
Knockout football is about what happens on the night.
Yeah.
It's about turning up. And, we saw it against Barcelona in 2008. United stank the new camp out and didn't, were very happy to get through that tie with completely disregarding any conversation of style or, because...
We did what it took to beat that Barcelona side, which we should have done in the final the year after or the final 3 years later.
Yeah.
Which we didn't manage.
And that's what, if they'd got through this and won, everyone would have said, Arsenal have done what they needed to do on the night. The issue was they, it's a long time to... And, PSG are very good, and PSG got into the box and, a large number of times, and eventually someone dropped someone down.
Yeah, yeah. Arsenal ultimately have had a very good season.
Yeah.
To get to penalties in the Champions League final, I don't think you can expect more than that. You can't.
No,
you can say we should be winning the Champions League, maybe, but you're never going to be far and away the best team in the Champions League. It's always going to be close at times. So losing on penalties in the Champions League final is about as much as you can hope for. You just hope it goes the other way,
Yeah, yeah.
And they won the league, but I wasn't feeling very gracious when they lost.
No.
I managed just about. It wasn't easy, but I managed to be happy for them winning the league.
Yeah, yeah.
I focused on that
preferable outcome.
Of at least they're a proper club that isn't Liverpool, which the first time that's happened since Leicester, a proper club that isn't Liverpool winning the Premier League.
So we're not counting Chelsea as a proper club?
Nah.
Okay, fair enough.
Maybe once upon a time they were.
It's certainly the first time in a very long time that one of our 2 most hated clubs in the world hasn't won the league.
Yeah. That is since
Chelsea
2017. So that's still 9 years,
So it's nice
that
I
can enjoy that. I managed to enjoy that. I wouldn't have got any appreciation or enjoyment out of Arsenal winning the Champions League.
No. And penalties is not a lottery, as people say.
Not random. If it was a toss of a coin, then maybe.
Yeah. Eze has taken penalties in that style for a long time and missed them quite a lot.
It's really certainly not the first one he's missed.
After the Charity Shield, some footage came out so he missed his penalty in the Charity Shield shootout. Did that run up? Alisson saved it, and there's footage of them celebrating with in front of the fans, and you can hear because it's on like Eze's Ray-Ban Meta glasses.
Right.
You can hear Eddie Nketiah going, "You've got to ditch that crap penalty style now. You've missed another one." He didn't ditch it, and then missed the penalty in the Champions League final because of it. And if he does it for England,
why were Arsenal in the Community Shield?
Arsenal weren't. This is when he was at Palace.
Right, yeah, of course.
Eddie Nketiah
was at Palace.
Yeah, they didn't play together at Arsenal.
Yeah.
And if he does it for England, he's going to get dogs abuse. And obviously, we don't agree with giving players abuse. I really hope he just leathers it and scores.
He did one for Palace, possibly against Arsenal, or in a league game towards the end of last season, I think, where he did that. He hit the target, but there was just nothing on it. It was so obvious which way he was going.
Yeah.
And it was saved. It's far from the first one he's missed.
Did you see Stefanov's towel?
Yes,
that had
very
like,
detailed.
Yeah,
It wasn't
really
just
detailed.
Gyökeres right.
It had like
Rice
Saka
left.
scores 90%, does slow run up, then
Yeah.
it's like, obviously it was in Russian. I don't think it was in Russian. It might have been in French.
Mm-hmm.
But it was or Spanish, because a lot of their coaches are Spanish.
But a lot of Arsenal players speak Spanish.
Oh, he read it out. He didn't read it aloud.
Yeah, I know. But if someone catches a glimpse of it,
True, yeah. Who is next? Hear ye.
Sound crier.
Yeah. And then, odd to see a centre-half go fifth.
Yeah.
Centre-half who I've never seen take a penalty.
No, he's never has.
Yeah.
Not a proper one, anyway.
And not odd to see him blaze it over the bar, because that's what centre-halves do.
That's what we were hoping for. We were like, centre-back taking the fifth penalty. Let's hope it's a classic centre-back's penalty. Yeah. And he puts it over the bar. The kind that a centre-back going 8th or 9th would take.
Yes. Especially with, there's when they were 4-0 up against Chelsea, was it? Or against someone in the league, Madueke. No, Chelsea were 4-0 up against someone, and Madueke got in a big row because he wanted to take the penalty, and someone was like, "Well, you're desperate to take a penalty at 4-0 up. You bottle it in the Champions League final. Let centre half go. It's not a good look."
Yeah. Also, for all the detailed analysis of Arsenal's penalty takers,
he didn't get near any.
He didn't make a save in the entire game, extra time, or the penalty shootout.
No.
And for the Rice one, he just didn't move until after Rice had taken it.
Yeah.
Which you look daft. If they put it straight down the middle and you just stand there and catch it, you look great.
Yeah.
But
that very rarely happens.
If you don't do that, you're like, why didn't you dive?
Yeah.
You were never going to save it.
Then there's the opposite of that, which is Raya moving 3 steps before the ball's kicked, which again is nonsense. He did that against United. When we played, we'd been knocked them out of the cup. There's footage of Bruno Fernandes is still half a yard from the ball, and he's already gone. It's
it's in the corner flag.
Yeah, it's very, penalties are difficult, but there's a certain class of player has the confidence to wait for the keeper to move, and they will wait until right at the very last second. You don't need to help them out by moving really early.
Yeah, especially in a shootout.
Yeah,
players are going to get nervous and lose their bottle more often in a shootout, so don't just do their job for them.
No, very funny.
Yeah,
and it was because it was a good deal, but we did order a bottle of fizz in in the pub.
We had one during the game as well. It was only a tenner,
and that was when they were losing. So it clearly wasn't a celebratory thing.
Just to celebrate. If the table of Arsenal fans had seen us pouring the prosecco at the final whistle, they might have, thought that was pathetic or whatever. But I don't care.
No, that's
it was a good deal. It was a nice drop.
We're nothing if not frugal.
Yeah, exactly.
A word for PSG and Luis Enrique. Two in a row now.
Yeah,
he's probably the best manager in the world.
Yeah, currently the best active
manager in the world.
3 Champions Leagues, which is only Ancelotti's got more than that.
Yeah.
Until Mourinho repeats Ancelotti's time at Real Madrid and gets another 2 more without trying very hard.
Yeah, and without doing anything in the league.
Yeah,
which is what Real Madrid seem quite content to do.
Yeah. But yeah, you can't. That's what PSG would have brought him in to do.
Yeah.
He had a weird period managing Spain in between Barcelona and PSG, where he didn't do much.
No, he's the wrong coach for a national side. I think.
Yeah, I can see why Spain did it. The manager who just won the treble is Spanish. Let's get him.
Yeah, and he's waiting for a club job. But he was pretty around that time, before and after the Spain job, he was sort of on the market.
Yeah,
and quite accessible.
People pointed to him for us.
And Chelsea were close to him a couple of times, but decided to move on and not go for him. And there were question marks about he's only managed in one league.
There's always question marks about the Premier League.
Yeah,
for a manager,
because it's quite. It's a lot of managers have come unstuck who have done very well in other leagues. The level of competitiveness and the level of physicality is different, and it is unlike other leagues. But you have to feel like some clubs are probably looking back ruefully.
Yeah. But there's a lot you can criticise about PSG, and I suppose you can criticise Luis Enrique for taking their money and working for them. But he does seem like a really great guy, very likeable. and that's more than you can say for Pep Guardiola. So
Yeah.
fair play to him. He's undoubtedly the best manager working at the minute, and they'll be right up there with the favourites again next season. He still hasn't signed a new contract.
No.
Liverpool haven't got a new manager yet, so it's a very narrow possibility that they would just go all out for him. But
there's been lots of noises around a new deal.
Yeah.
But I don't know if culturally if he's the right fit.
No. Also, he's only the second manager to retain the Champions League.
Right, so I've fed our predictions through a machine to pull out everything we said in the first episode.
Oh, yeah. Bit of that AI.
Oh, yeah.
It's the future out here.
So one of us had Arsenal to win the league, and one of us had Liverpool to win the league. So that's gone better for you than it has for me.
Yeah, I knew it. I mean, I think I said Arsenal would win the league because Gyökeres would turn draws into wins, which isn't really why they won the league.
No.
But I'll take it,
Yeah.
Well, Liverpool were the overwhelming favourites because they won the league and then signed loads of really good players. So I'm glad that I stuck to my guns. Unlike you got swept away in the Liverpool bandwagon.
I wouldn't call it a bandwagon, but yeah, I did think they would be. I didn't see this coming.
No.
I mean, we did have some caveats. So your top six, do you remember what you had as your top six?
I think I had Liverpool second.
Yeah.
City third.
Yeah.
Chelsea fourth.
Mm-hmm.
And then United in fifth. Or
No.
Villa, Spurs.
We had Spurs, then United.
Oof.
That's your top six.
That's bad.
Which is, some better than others.
I've watched a lot of people's reacting to their predictions.
Yeah.
And 90% of people had Spurs
Fine.
well above United.
Yeah. I had Liverpool and then Arsenal and City in second and third, which is a bit of a cop-out.
Why?
Because, I didn't give an order.
Oh, right.
And then I had Chelsea fourth as well. And then I had United in fifth. And then sixth, I said, was a race between Spurs, Newcastle and Villa, which is another cop-out. But
yeah.
Villa...
And it wasn't a race between any... Well,
no, it wasn't.
Villa
But if you take them as... No, because who else?
Chelsea were.
Bournemouth finished in the top six, didn't they?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, no, I didn't. I thought I had the right top six, but I had Chelsea and Spurs or Newcastle in there. So, yeah, I was wrong. I did
Who
say...
do you think's done better there, then?
You, I think.
Even though I've got Spurs in there.
I've got Spurs in my race
Spurs
for sixth.
Third in there, yeah.
So, yeah, mine's not very good. We both had Chelsea in there. I had Liverpool above Arsenal and you had Arsenal above Liverpool. I'd give that to you.
Okay.
I did say Forest would have a worse season than last season.
Oh, yeah.
But I said probably top half.
That's not... They finished, seventh last season in the end?
Yeah. And then I said Palace would finish mid-table, which is the most obvious prediction of all time.
Did they finish mid-table?
Yeah.
They finished 15th.
That's lower mid-table, I think.
So he's 5th to 15th mid-table?
Yeah.
I think you've made the most obvious prediction possible and got it wrong.
Well...
If you said Fulham mid-table, maybe it would have been a safer bet.
Yeah, I've got some sort of generic predictions that aren't attributed to one or either of us.
Okay.
We said Cobby would start on the bench and then break through. But he wasn't breaking through. That was the issue.
He did break
through. He did break through, yeah.
I think that was me who said that.
No. This is a bold one. United should be better than last season.
We were for the whole season. We were better than last season.
We both said that we had a tough run and that we'd be happy with 9 points from our opening 5 games. How many points do you think we got from our opening 5 games?
Well, we lost the Arsenal game. Then I don't remember our other games. So I'm going to say we got 7 points.
Let's see. We lost to Arsenal, drew with Fulham. That's 1.
Oh, yeah.
Beat Burnley. That's 4.
Yeah.
Lost to City.
Oh, yeah.
Beat Chelsea.
So we did get 7 points.
Yeah, but not quite 9. That draw to Fulham. In the middle of that, we went out of the EFL Cup to Grimsby.
Yeah. It was a bad start.
You said Gyökeres could be the missing piece, likely to score 15 to 16 goals, but important ones.
How many goals did he score?
14.
Oh, yeah, I'll take that. Were they important? Some of them.
No, he was a bit of a flat track bully at times.
Yeah. I think about 4 of them were against Leeds.
I said Wirtz is an elite player. Frimpong will be a starter, but there's no guarantee Bundesliga signings translate to the Premier League. I'll take that.
I mean, no guarantee. That's not really coming either way, is it?
I also said that Salah being older was a potential risk.
Yeah.
And he was much worse.
Yeah, they shouldn't have let him get older.
Reinders would be good, but he's not as good as Rodri. And that's true.
He's not been good. He's not played.
Yeah.
As Rodri's been playing.
We both said Spurs cannot be as bad as last season in the league, and they were worse.
Yeah.
Well, they got one more point than they got last season.
So, maybe we can chalk that as a tick.
We said Kudus would be a very impactful signing. He's barely played.
Yeah, we're not doing great here. Spurs, I don't think we can claim anything from saying Spurs couldn't be worse than they were last season, because obviously you're in that we really mean Spurs will be a lot better.
Yeah. Villa, we both had sort of around 6th or 7th. Unlikely to threaten the top 4, you said.
Did I?
Yeah. But it'd be foolish to put them below 7th.
I was right about that.
But they did threaten the top 4. They finished 4th.
Yeah.
Which is pretty good for them.
I don't know why we predicted them so low, really.
Because we thought Chelsea and Spurs would be much better than they were.
But Villa...
And they had the Europa League, and the Europa League's out. Relegation candidates, you remember who you said?
I know I think I said Brentford. Oh, I'm pretty sure I said Brentford, which, again, lots of people said Brentford.
Oh, yeah.
It would have been mad to predict Brentford in 7th or 8th. No, they finished 9th or 10th in the end. But so many people had them predicting to go down because that's what it looked like.
Yeah.
Not gone well, but I don't regret saying that. It was an obvious one to pick.
No.
I think I also said it would be one of Leeds or Sunderland, and I think I went for Sunderland.
Yeah, you had Burnley, Brentford, Sunderland.
Okay, well, I got 1 out of 3. The other 2 wildly wrong.
Leeds to stay up, but with Farke losing his job.
Yeah.
So, you did say Leeds would stay up.
Yeah, I did. I mean, I said lots of teams would stay up that did.
Yeah. I said all 3 would go back down.
Yeah.
So that's also
that's
wrong.
Even worse.
Is it? I said Leeds would go down.
It's probably about the same.
Yeah. I did say, if not, West Ham are very vulnerable.
Oh.
Well, Brentford and West Ham are very vulnerable. But
you did say West Ham
I did.
could go down if the 3 promoted sides didn't. So.
And I said Fulham, Brighton, Everton, and Wolves would all be fine. 3 of those were fine.
3 of those were fine. I feel like I was quite generous about Wolves.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've got that there.
It's not come through here. And then we also predicted what we thought would happen in the Arsenal game. And I said it could be 2-2, and you said United would win.
Yeah, so both wrong there.
Yeah.
I remember, after the Arsenal game, first game of the season, we were feeling pretty hopeful about the season, and it was an all right performance, but we lost the game 1-0.
Yeah.
There was an old guy after the game who was going around sort of ranting at whoever would listen, or whoever would not listen, just whoever was there, about how Amarim's tactics were rubbish. He was a terrible manager. He was never going to succeed. And everyone disagreed with him. And we were like, what's this old guy on about? Clearly doesn't know the modern game.
Yeah.
Amarim, we've got to back Amarim. There's 3-4-3 systems the way to go. And, he's been proven right.
Yeah.
Fair play to the guy. He's not let the tide wash him up.
No. He did call Bayern a thalidomide baby. Which is
I shouldn't laugh at that.
Which is harsh. It's not, he didn't have a good game.
No, he didn't. I shouldn't have praised him so much.
Yeah, but if you clearly think he's a man of sound opinion and great principle, then fair play. That's not what I would have gone for.
But he was right about Amarim, and we were all wrong.
Yeah. There is a prevalence of complicated tactics are bad and simple tactics are good.
Yeah.
And football, too much is written and said about football, and it's a simple game, and all of this thinking and academic thinking about the game is uncalled for and wasteful, and not improving the game.
Yeah.
And I think that Carrick has sort of benefited from simplicity this season. I think that's you could say that Amarim's tactics were too complicated and weren't being translated to the players, and Carrick has given them messaging that they can understand.
Yeah.
I do think you can't really sort of dismiss all complicated tactics as, unworkable. And given time and the right players, you can achieve very high levels.
Yeah.
But that wasn't what was happening at United, and it's fair enough. We
had this complicated system that didn't work, and then it'd be easy to look at it and as say that Amorim's complicated tactics didn't work and Carrick simplified things, and it worked very well.
Yeah, because that's what happened. But I think there's been some discourse about how United's underlying numbers were actually better under Amorim, and we had more sustained possession and we were able to create better chances, and the second half of the season hasn't been better than the first half.
Yeah. Are you one of them?
I'm not one of them. I think underlying numbers are useful in sort of adding to a picture of football.
Yeah.
And you can say, I've noticed this thing, can I try and work out what's happening?
Yeah. And you can't just look at the results.
Yeah.
It is worth looking at the other numbers as well.
Yeah. But when the results have improved so dramatically, I think you can say that the current data understanding of United is clearly missing something, because to the eye, we are definitely better.
Yeah. And this data suggests that we are worse under Carrick than we were under Amorim. So clearly there's more data that would show that.
And there are things that no one has modelled or will be able to model in this data, such as the fact that the players are a lot happier and the players are a lot more confident and composed, and these things you can't really
quantify.
United's finishing has got a lot better in the second half of the season. That's not sustainable because over the course of the whole season, on average, they've been worse. But there are a lot of factors that go into these things, and they're not all predictable.
Yeah.
And it's something that, Arteta has got a lot of criticism for, is these sort of soft skill things that, everyone thinks are nonsense. And I think probably a lot of them are nonsense. The picture of the heart and the brain holding hands, or, having the TikToks playing on the training ground and stuff. These things are...
Having a dog called Win.
Yeah. These things are nonsense. But those players absolutely adore Mikel Arteta.
Yeah,
and who are we to sit here and say they don't know? Now they've won the league, it's all vindicated. Anything you've done is vindicated.
He managed to get those players to a point where they could win the league. So whatever he did to get there, it clearly worked.
Yeah, and there is some of that in what Carrick has done. He has improved the mood of the squad, which has allowed them to get much better results.
Yeah, we haven't seen a documentary from behind the scenes, so we don't know what he's showing up on his projector slides, but it could be similar things that people would ridicule if it wasn't going well.
Yeah, it could be. It remains to be seen what the ceiling of this team is.
Yeah.
And I'm excited to find out.
It looks a lot higher than it did for the first half of the season.
Absolutely,
I'm very glad that we had that upturn. Obviously, just as a United fan, but for the podcast, I think it was good to have that sudden change of direction, because we didn't want to have to just talk about the state of the club every week.
The future
of the club, and do we have to call for another manager to be sacked? It's not how we want to consume our football club every week,
No, definitely not.
It's nice that we've had some time to enjoy supporting the club and just talk about the games and the players and what might happen, in an excited way.
Yeah, I think an important thing to have happened this season is we had that burst of form when Carrick came in, and that was a lot. You can put that down to a lot of things. You can put that down to Amorim has gone and players have re-energized and all this stuff.
Yeah.
But then we did have that ended, that run of form.
Yeah.
We had 4 games where we got 2 points, did we? Or 1 point?
Yeah, maybe.
We had Newcastle and Leeds and the game West Ham. I can't remember what the other...
Bournemouth?
Possibly, yeah, Bournemouth. So we got 2 points from 4 games.
Were those games all next to each other?
I think so. There was certainly a run of 4 games where we massively dropped off. And the impressive thing is we've then got a lot better again, and we've moved players around and we've found other solutions, and we've had injuries, but it's not just been one formula or release the players, come in, great run of form with like blips throughout it.
Yeah,
it's been two
it's not
different
a honeymoon period.
Yeah,
for the
two
manager.
different sustained periods of form that have led us to where we are. I think that's been undersold, and a lot have been said this week about Iraola going to Liverpool, and maybe United should have been ambitious and gone for that and not stuck with what they had.
Yeah,
but there's every chance it doesn't work out. And
we know we did consider Iraola, both us and I hope people at the club. I know there are obviously reasons why they decided not to do that.
Yeah, but going into next season, we've got. We won't discuss next season too much because we need to save some for the second half for the rest of the window. But it looks like we're going to have a new Chelsea manager, new Liverpool manager,
new City
manager, Spurs manager not long in the job, new United manager not long in the job.
Yeah,
and
time for Villa to win the league.
Well, Arsenal, the only club going into next season the same as they went into this season,
apart from Villa.
Of the top of the traditional Big Six.
Okay.
A lot has changed.
Yeah,
and there's a lot up for grabs. And I really think having a manager who's been in place for 6 months could really benefit us for the first few months of the season and allow us to hit the ground running in a way that other clubs might struggle to do.
Yeah, because obviously there's a bit of this with us because we've been playing a lot more games. But Chelsea, Liverpool and City, we have no idea how good they're going to be.
No.
They could be...
Spurs as well.
Yeah.
Spurs could be much better or a bit better.
Yeah.
I don't think they'll
not
be
any
not
better.
any better.
Well, it's possible. We didn't think they would be not any better this season.
That is true, yeah.
Thomas Frank had a similar level of success at Brentford to what De Zerbi had at Brighton. So, it's possible that they don't get any better under De Zerbi. But yeah, those teams could all hit the ground running, and hopefully we can as well. Or they could all take a very long time to adjust.
Yeah.
So there could be an opportunity for us to, I'm not going to say win the league, but to at least maintain where we are. And get closer to that point that we're all hoping for. Yeah,
it's the second closest we've finished to the title this season. We finished 13 points off. Under Ollie, we once finished 12 points off, I think. Second closest since we won it.
Yeah.
And if we can get closer next season, I think everyone would be happy with that.
Yeah. No one's expecting us to even seriously challenge for the league after this season.
No.
But if we could, that would be an amazing season.
Yeah, and there's every possibility that, like you say, we have no idea how good other teams are going to be.
Yeah. And Arsenal have never retained a Premier League title, which might be irrelevant because they've not won one for 22 years. It's a completely different Arsenal now, but it's still something. It is hard to retain a title. Only City have done it in recent years. The last team to retain one, other than City, was us in 2009.
It's been a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's, lots of reasons to be optimistic for next season.
Yeah.
Not least playing in the Champions League. We've both watched quite a bit of Champions League football this season, despite not being in it, because it's no one who's not in the Europa League tunes into the Europa League week in, week out.
Very few people, yeah.
But, having a Champions League without United in it, as has been too often the case in the recent seasons, doesn't feel complete. And we're looking forward to seeing some of the big boys turn up to Old Trafford, and hopefully, like you say, we should finish in the...
We'll finish in the top 24.
Yeah, we should, absolutely.
Newcastle and Spurs both finished in the top 8 this season.
And finish in the bottom half of the Premier League.
Yeah, so. We have to finish in the top 24 teams.
Yeah. Do you know who didn't finish in the top 8?
City.
PSG.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, second year in a row.
Yeah, mad.
Also,
but they did finish in the top 24 by a long way.
Also, the second year in a row, they've started the same starting 11, starting 10 in outfield players in this Champions League final.
So, right. Well, fair play. That can't happen very often.
No, I think
we certainly didn't in 2008 and 2009.
Yeah. Which is impressive. And, signs of a settled squad that hasn't had much stress on it this season.
Yeah.
But, we're looking forward to seeing United back there.
We are.
Hopefully we can pull up a few trees.
Yeah. Before next season, we have the small matter of the World Cup.
Not as small as it used to be.
No. I am excited for the World Cup now that, I thought I was waiting until after the Champions League final, but I think I was actually waiting until after this podcast because this is mainly looking back on the season.
Yeah.
I will be able to get excited properly for the World Cup.
Yeah.
There's a lot of political stuff involved with the World Cup, but that's no different this time. The last one was in Qatar. There was quite a lot of political, narrative around it. The one before that was in Russia. So, I think
we don't. This isn't a World Cup podcast, but it is certainly interesting. I think the difference there is Qatar and Russia were using the World Cup to promote themselves and to portray an image of themselves as members of the international community and welcoming. And the US has decided to do the opposite of that and has decided that it doesn't want to appear as part of the international community or appear welcoming. There's talk of members of staff and squads still not having visas and still not having credentials approved.
And lots of stadium owners are not happy with certain aspects of hosting.
Yeah, there's lots of. I mean, some of the pitches look really bad. There's still some infrastructure problems. There's problems with transport. We've seen. I heard a podcast talk about it, about how there's a sort of an ideological difference in how football is perceived and how sport is perceived in Europe and in America.
Yeah,
and about how football is seen as sort of not an egalitarian thing, but a sort of the people's game.
Yeah, absolutely.
So in South America as well and Africa, it's seen as it should be accessible, and it's getting increasingly less accessible.
Yeah.
But it's
a game that kids play on the street.
And American sports are corporate and expensive and not accessible. And for if you've got 100,000 people in a city who can pay 10 grand to go to a match, why wouldn't you charge 10 grand to go to the match? Because there's just so many more people and so many more people willing to pay up for things. And FIFA seems to have just completely gone over to the American side of it. And UEFA are trying to drag their heels a little bit and say, throw their weight around, because so many of the important, influential football nations are UEFA members.
Yeah.
But FIFA have just completely sold the game to the US. And
fully in bed with the US. It's sort of easy to forget that there are two other host countries.
Yeah, massively.
Because it's just been so dominated by the US.
Yeah, and it's going to be an interesting tournament for lots of reasons.
Yeah.
Usually the political stuff dies down by the end of the group stage.
Yeah.
And the football takes over.
And I'm determined to, maybe this is a bad position to take politically, but I'm determined to not let them take the World Cup away from us and to still enjoy the World Cup for what it is, a global celebration of football.
Yes.
We have to hold on to that,
And it's less politically problematic than the previous two. Like you say, it's not about a sport, a state with a dreadful reputation trying to improve that by co-opting football.
Yeah,
it's about the inverse of that. It's a state that doesn't care about football and doesn't want to.
It's a wonder we gave it to him.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, maybe they thought he wouldn't be the president anymore.
Yeah.
He was awarded a while ago. Well, he was awarded while he was the president,
but it was unlikely.
Yeah, if he'd done consecutive terms, he would have gone down. Yeah.
So it was only if he went away for one term and then got the next term that he would be president for this and the Olympics.
Yeah, but we'll enjoy it. We'll enjoy the football.
Yeah, 48 teams it's a lot of games, over 100 games in the World Cup, and it's not the ideal times. I think for a UK viewer, you want them throughout the working day, ideally.
Yeah, if you want.
That's sort of the best way to consume all of the games.
Yes.
There's quite a lot on at night time.
Yeah.
I'm determined to watch as many as I can.
Yes.
I might have to give up a few, maybe even a few days in on watching all the games, because ultimately I have to sleep for a few hours and work for 8 hours a day. So it's going to be difficult, but I'm going to try to watch as much of the World Cup as I can. Maybe when I'm watching Uzbekistan against DR Congo at 3 o'clock in the morning, I might think it's not worth it. I'm going to go to bed. But until that happens, I'm going to plan to watch as much as I can.
Yeah, I mean, the recipe is there for a lot of crap games.
Yeah, even looking
lots of teams going who haven't been to World Cups before.
Yeah, and the groups are generally one of the historically good teams and 3 worst teams.
Yeah. Also, incredibly hot weather as well, which is always a recipe for bad football.
Yeah, and bad for England historically as well.
Yeah, will England's red roses wilt in the heat?
Yeah. We've not talked about the England squad because it's not the kind of thing we normally talk about on here, but Maguire not in.
Yes, very disappointing for him personally.
Luke Shaw also less of a shock, but still a bit surprising.
Yeah, it's certainly a shock with Lewis Hall not going. A lot of people went, "Oh, it looks like Lewis Hall's going to be his favourite left back," but it turns out his favourite left back is Miles Lewis-Skelly
or Jed Spence on the left.
Yeah, Nico O'Reilly is.
Yeah, Nico O'Reilly will, you imagine, be the starting left back. He's the best one that he's taken.
Yeah,
but he has said that Jed Spence he sees him as a left back. And
Jed Spence
Livramento can play both sides as well.
Jed Spence, who spent all weekend slagging off Arsenal players on Twitter, which will go down well when they have to go and play together.
Yeah.
We've not had some inter-camp beef for a while. So
no, it's been very harmonious the last few tournaments.
It's sort of boom or bust for England this time, I think. They've sort of not sold their soul, but, they've given it to a German. They've given it to a
manager who wins things.
Quite combative manager who has a record of winning knockout football.
Yeah. It's similar. It reminds me of when Spurs let go of Pochettino and brought in Mourinho.
Yes. And that went really well.
Because Pochettino had got them to this really high level but couldn't get them over the line.
Yeah.
They didn't go well for Spurs at all. But hopefully it'll go better for England.
They did sack Mourinho before the cup final.
But they were doing badly in the league.
Yes,
but it was still, and it seems like they were worried that if he wins us a cup, we can't sack him. But he would win you a cup, so that's all right.
Yeah,
you're not going to win the league.
And they didn't do anything else for the rest of the league season anyway.
Yeah,
but you'd hope that the FA have got more sense than Spurs.
Yeah,
there's not that much evidence for it.
No. We'll see with the World Cup. We'll see how England do. We are England fans during the World Cup.
Yeah.
But at the minute, maybe after England have played one or two games, I'll be probably supporting England. But at the minute, I'm just looking forward to the World Cup as a whole.
Yeah, absolutely.
What are our plans for the podcast then? This is obviously the last regular season episode.
Yeah.
But we're probably not going to go away until, a week before the season starts.
No, I think we'll do maybe some shorter stuff. Maybe not a full hour every time. Maybe some stuff just on YouTube.
Yeah.
Video stuff if people want to check that out. Just looking forward to the new season. We'll talk about the comings and goings. We expect quite a few, I think.
Yeah.
We hope for quite a few.
It's a summer of more, work on the squad at United. Yeah, the last summer went very well, so hopefully if we can have another summer like that, we'll be ready.
Lamans was named Premier League signing of the season, which
can't really argue with.
It's difficult to see any transfers we've made in the previous decade getting close to signing of the season.
Yeah, I can think of plenty who are in the conversation for the worst signing of all time.
Yeah.
So it's nice to have one that did quite well.
Yes, indeed.
We're not sure how long we'll be away for. Not for too long. I'm sure you'll still see plenty of us. Make sure you keep your eyes peeled for whatever we decide to do. And thanks for all your support this season. It's been good.
We couldn't have done it without you.
We
did it without
most of you.
Without a lot of more people.
Yes. We probably would still do it if literally no one we knew watched or listened. We'd be a bit offended, probably.
Yeah.
But I think it's clear we're not in it for the views.
Oh yeah. I don't know if we would do it if literally no one ever watched it.
Refreshing the viewing figures.
It's still zero.
It's flat at the bottom of the graph.
Yeah. It would be more difficult.
We would have to try very hard not to accidentally watch one.
Yeah.
To keep the views at zero.
Yeah.
But,
we're very grateful for everyone who does watch.
We are, yes.
Whether we know you or not.
Yeah, we do. I think most of you. But no, there are a few of you. If the Australian waiter that I spoke to last week is listening, or his dad, thank you. Thanks for coming.
Yeah.
Please stick around.
Good day. That's what they say, isn't it?
Don't patronise.
I'm not.
I'm
speaking their language.
Yeah.
I can't turn off now. It's the end.
You just smile and give them a Vegemite sandwich.
Yeah. That's what they like.
Yeah. Sorry if you are listening. But thank you. And thanks to everyone else as well. We will be back very soon. So we'll see you out there.